have had mixed results when it comes to powder-coated projectiles in smokeless loads. When it comes to powder-coated projectiles in black powder cartridge, it was pretty much always a train wreck. Now, I've tried this 4 or 5 times, and it wasn't really until after we did the plated black powder cartridge video when I had a whole bunch of people asking about, what about coated projectiles, the high-tech coated ones, the powder coated ones, where I decided I'd give it one more try. Now, we do a lot of experiments and we do a lot of stuff that doesn't make it onto the interweb because it's not worth your time. Trust me. So the first time we tried the powder-coated projectiles was in 45 Colt with 40 grains and a 250 grain projectile with nothing but a card wad in between the powder and the projectile. And it was a train wreck. I couldn't hit a steel plate at 25 yards. It was that bad. It just sprayed them all over the target. I got back to my garage and I went to clean it, and the fouling seemed very strange. At the time, I wasn't quite sure what was going on. I figured it was because there was just no lubricant and the fouling was just extra hard, but it almost has like these stringy looking curlicue things in there. I tried it again where I put some lubricant in the lube groove of the powder-coated projectile. That wasn't any better. In fact, it seemed like it was pretty much the same. But after we did the grease cookie experiment with the plated projectiles and got really, really good results, I figured we'd give this stuff one more try. So this first one I'm going to show you is 45 Colt with 30 grains of 4F Osage orange, homemade black powder, with what we've been calling a grease cookie sandwich, which is a 30 thousandths card wad, a grease cookie, followed by another 30 thousandths card wad, and the projectile. So the grease cookie is sandwiched between 2 card wads. And if you're interested in that, I'll put a link to that video in the description where we go over all that stuff. But with these, I used a 200 grain projectile, where my standard projectile for 45 Colt would be 250. But I happen to have these here from the Missouri Bullet Company, 200 grain. They measure 4.52. And it says the Burnell hardness is 12, which I'm suspicious of, but that's beside the point. And here's how that went. 988. 982. 972. 937. 991. 966. Wow, okay.
What kind of powder did you load?
That's 4F Osage orange.
Okay. That's why it's moving so fast.
I don't know.
I can see something in the barrel.
Do you see that orange
Bring
streak?
that up here. Bring that up here.
Man. This has always been our problem when it comes to
Powder coat.
Yeah.
All right, at least you didn't lose it. Yeah, it's the same. Those lines in the barrel are the same color as the powder coating.
Yeah.
That's not a good sign.
I don't know if you could see in there or not, but
Well, that's what I'm talking about. Is that
boy,
color right
the
there.
impact of those is so much lower compared to those 255 plated ones we tried the other day.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's keep going, I guess.
Yep.
Okay, let's try this again.
Okay,
You hit it!
You hit it.
Nice! Well done.
And I didn't flinch.
Nice
you did
shot,
not.
Jim.
I've seen worse. I've seen that Sharpie of yours. I think I'll aim up here though.
Yeah. Yeah, give that a shot.
So this is the target camera footage of the second string of that 45 Colt. Now keep in mind, I'm aiming at the 2 of spades over there on the right. And see where that first shot hit way over there? Now that's possible that it was me, but dang, I sure hope it wasn't, because that is just awful. Well, that was certainly less than ideal. Now, same story as the other 2 times. I got it home and I am looking down the barrel, and in the grooves, you could see what looks like, and I could be wrong, almost like this powder coating is getting stripped off and being left in there. Now, even though those results were pretty bad, and you saw that one where I was shooting at the right card and it ended up way over to the left. It didn't look like a key hold or anything. I might have yanked it, but damn, that was really bad. Even if you want to blame that on me, let's just blame that on me. That's pretty lousy. That's not acceptable in my book. So what I was thinking is that maybe it's stripping off that coating. So we decided we'd try 2 more times. With 45 Colt, I backed the charge down to 25 grains of 4F Swiss. I increased the thickness of the grease cookie to take up the volume. So used the same 200 grain projectile, but I also assembled some 357. And I used 4F with that and a grease cookie and a 158 grain powder coated semi wad cutter. And for that, we're using the Ruger Blackhawk, because we're all about historical accuracy around here. So here's how that went. This is a different load. So this is 25 grains of 3F instead of 4 with a thicker grease cookie, a grease cookie sandwich. Mm-hmm. So a card wad, a thick grease cookie, another card wad, and a 200 grain powder coated bullet. So this is loaded down from the first try.
Okay.
So here we go.
All right.
And we're gonna shoot at the top right. I think that's a 9 or something.
It's showtime.
$9.29. $9.28. $9.15. $9.24. $9.13. $9.28.
Oh, you got 3 of them in the card.
Well, I had one. What? I don't know if I'm just yanking them that low or what. I guess that could just be me. It probably is.
I think it's you.
It probably is. That's pretty clean. I'd say that's pretty clean.
Wow. Yeah, it is.
You know what? Let's just do another string,
Yeah.
and we'll just do it again. See how it goes.
Let's aim for the Joker this time.
No, I'm gonna keep
You gonna do it
aiming up
again?
there. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll mark them and we'll go from there. So here's the second string with the 45 Colt powder coated bullets. .926. .943. .911. .930. .938. .919. Pretty consistent. .928. And this thing feels greasy.
That's good.
These cases are greasy. Got some grease coming out of the edge there. Yeah, you can get away with a lot of weird shit if you use a grease cookie.
Yep.
Let's have a look at the target. Hey,
That's much better.
that's better. Yeah,
Yeah.
it still hits. This thing still hits a little to the left. That's weird. It didn't fix itself. Yeah, that's much better right there.
That is totally acceptable.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Do you want to try the 38s now?
Yeah.
Or are they 357s? I think they're 357s.
Sevens? Okay.
Yeah. Dang.
That's much better.
That's much better.
Yeah. I'd say that's bitchin'.
Indeed. Me too. Okay, so this is our black powder 357. This is 18.5 grains of 4F mix with a 30 thousandths card wad, a grease cookie, another card wad, and a 158 grain powder coated semi wad cutter. And we're shooting at the bottom one, right? The red one?
Yes, sir.
All right, here we go. .892. .928. .927. .893. .895. .946. So that averaged .913.
A little bit more spread on those.
Yeah. A little bit of grease coming out there.
All right.
Let's have a look.
That looks pretty damn good.
Boy, I hear people talk shit about Rugers, you know, Blackhawks and stuff. They're crunchy, they're junk. I've owned more than a few, and man, they just run, you know. So let's put another string through. That had a little wider spread than the 45 Colt,
It did.
but let's try it one more time.
All right.
But boy, that right there is not so bad, you know.
Yeah, that's good. I'd say that's right on bitchin' too.
All right, so here's the second string with our powder coated 357. .902.
926. 929. 889. 923. 889 again. So that averaged 910. I think that had a little bit tighter spread this time. Not by a hell of a lot, but
Looks like he yanked one.
I might have.
That first one, I think he yanked to the left.
Oh, I see. I think I see it over there to the left.
Yeah.
I feel like I yanked one.
Yeah.
There's always one.
There's always...
All right, well, let's have a look. We'll pull the cylinder out and have a look, huh?
All right.
That's good. I think that was the first one. I felt like I
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was.
felt like I yanked it. 3, 5, 6. Yeah, still not horrible though.
No. No, that doesn't look bad at all.
No. I still think it looks cleaner with the. I still think it looks a little cleaner with the plated bullets.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're gonna try them in the rifle. Hopefully I don't clip my phone.
Oh yeah.
$12.14. $12.15. $12.18. $12.59. $12.07. $12.25.
Boy, if it wasn't for those two shots, we'd have single-digit spread.
It looks like we're around 48 or so.
Yeah.
Well, that feels plenty clean.
Oh no.
That could have been. I might have yanked one over or something, but man,
That must be you.
let's hope so. All right, well, let's try it one more time,
All right.
just for sport. Okay, so here's the second string with the rifle and the 45 Colt powder-coated bullets. $12.04. $12.29. $12.32. $12.29. $12.31. $12.46. Staying plenty
These are plenty greasy.
Plenty greasy here too. So that averaged $12.29, about a spread of 40-ish. So let's see if we didn't spray them all over the place.
You totally did.
Oh man, I did spray them all over the target. That's too bad. I felt better about the second one. What the litter is that about?
That's funny because them same damn rounds through that pistol sure were great on that 7 of spades.
Well, sure doesn't. Yeah, no kidding, right?
Yeah.
That's
That's what I'm saying.
That's lame.
Indeed.
Okay, well, maybe it's me. Because that sure was fucking cool.
Yeah.
That one there is not even that.
Yeah. Yeah, all those shots from the 7 were great.
Yeah. It's just not worth the trouble.
Yeah.
So that was a vast improvement over all of my other powder-coated projectile experiments when it comes to black powder cartridge. The first string of 45 Colt averaged 923 with a max spread of 15.9, very respectable, and shot really good. The second string averaged 928 with a max spread of 31, totally acceptable in my book. The 357 with 18.5 grains of 4F averaged 913 with a max spread of 53.9. The second string averaged 910 with a max spread of 40 and also shot really, really well. It wasn't until we tried it in the rifle where it started to look much, much worse. And we got around 1200, I think, there, right? The first string with the rifle averaged 1223 with a max spread of 51. The second string with the rifle averaged 1229 with a max spread of 41.8. And that's when it didn't look so great. Now, again, you could blame that on me, but I should be able to put all of those on a playing card at 40 yards with that thing. As you guys saw in the video there, the barrel looks pretty clean in both the Blackhawk and my single action Army there. Just a little bit of that leftover stuff. And again, I think it's coating. It's hard. It's not like, it doesn't feel like lead, I guess. But the rifle, I could see those stringy things in the grooves. So I think what's happening is if you keep the velocity in the lower 900s, maybe below 950 or something like that, they seem to do pretty well. But if you get them moving faster than that, I think it's stripping off the coating. I did see a video from Tim Sundles of Buffalo Bore fame the other day where he was talking about bullet hardness. And he mentioned in that video that he has seen coated bullets strip off from being pushed too fast. And can't help but wonder, being that these are just cheapy bullets, if that's not really what we're seeing here. So when we did the plated bullets, I had a whole bunch of people saying, yeah, that was really interesting and all, but why in the hell are you doing this? Well, with the plated bullet thing, it's because they said it couldn't be done. And it actually worked out really well. The powder-coated projectile, which I've had dozens of questions about, you can get this to work, but I really don't see the point. There's a whole bunch of extra stuff you have to do. And I can push a lead projectile that's around the same hardness, between 12 and 15 on the Brinell scale, at 1200 feet per second out of a rifle, and I don't have accuracy issues like I do with these. Maybe it's because I usually shoot at 250 versus these are 200. It could be something like that, and it also could just be me. But where I'm going with this is people always ask me, why are you doing this? I guess I would ask you the same thing. Why do you want to use a powder-coated projectile? Just buy whatever lead stuff you can get and use that instead. I get way better performance, and I don't have to use a grease cookie and all that stuff. And you don't have to deal with all this extra crap. So can you do it? Yeah. Is it worth it? No. Just use lead, or if you do want to use a plated projectile, because that's what you have, because you're using 230 round nose like for 45 ACP or something, use a grease cookie. It works bitchin'. Give it a try. But as far as the powder-coated stuff goes, pretty lame in my book. So as usual, folks, if you thought this video didn't suck, do me a favor and hit the like button and consider subscribing. And if you did think it sucked, go make your own damn video.